least you don't have to switch cameras or anything.
I know. Starting preview. Usually that means we're live, I think. We'll see. I think we're live. Are we live? I was promised 2 p.m. It's 2 minutes till. Hey everybody, welcome to this interesting episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. We were debating on whether we wanted to do this or not, based on what was happening. Some of us at Dynamic Discs have decided to work from home. And so it's like, well, how do we do this so that we make sure not a lot of people have to show up at work? And I thought, well, we could go live from MySpace. Not MySpace, the platform, because that would be bad. But MySpace, we're living in the basement of the McCall's residence. So so far, it looks like it's working pretty good. We sounded good?
Technically, it's MySpace.
It's true. Okay.
But whatever.
Right,
it's
right,
whatever.
McCall space.
It's just neither here nor there. We're splitting hairs.
So, I mean, if you follow me or any of us on social medias, you know that I basically am living with the McCalls, living in their basement as I save up money to get my own place, which now is, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm going to end up maybe renting or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's a whole nother podcast to do.
AJ Risley in the chat right now. What's up, AJ?
Hey, what's up, AJ? How you doing, brah? Hey, sending you positive vibes, my man. Praying for you in your situation.
Hashtag our space.
Hopefully things work out for you. Sure.
What's up with the engine there, fella? You getting it replaced or what?
So this is going to be kind of a super casual, even though we're going to do the same Disc Golf Answer Man, but of course we are in a whole different setting. It's just me and Eric. Me and Robert. Eric is out on Eric is out on assignment, doing some stuff with some of our players. Speaking of players, super exciting. Hopefully we'll get some of our players out here in the next couple weeks to come out here and create some content. We're looking at like dynamic duels, putting challenges, some fun stuff, some clinics. I was even thinking about, what do you guys think about this? Like a Disc Golf Hot Ones, where we get some hot sauce and we put it on tacos and we ask questions as the sauce is just coursing through their veins and the hotness and questions and stuff. Anyway, so make sure you share this out. If you got people that are stuck at home and need a little bit of a reprieve from the craziness.
Social distancing. Edition. That's what we're doing today.
Yeah. So apparently, obviously, we're not 6 feet apart. But since we live together, if we've got germs, we probably got each other's germs.
Yeah, it's a little too late for that. Probably.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's see. So far, audio is really good. Yes? We're good?
Yeah. How are we on audio? As a reminder, I guess something that you guys need to know, the cord that usually gives us trouble on the Sling Studio, we don't have to use today.
And this might be the way we use it from now on.
Yeah.
For a little bit, at least, until we figure out investing in another Sling Studio or something else. But we think this solution will work for a bit.
Yeah. Everything sounds really good, Johnny says. Good.
Well, we've got the Johnny V seal of approval.
Nice.
Which is
you love
good.
to see it. Yeah, share it out so that we can have some, human interaction during the day.
Also, we're going to have our Disc Golf Hot Takes, which I just remembered that it's my choice. And how much have I thought about it? About 2 seconds, because I've been trying to get this whole thing set up. This is a lot more complicated than you think. Bringing the mixer home, setting up the camera. Of course, when you drive home and you forget some of the equipment, you have to go back and get it. That's crazy. What's wrong?
Tim says, I hear a hum in the background like a fan, but I can deal. There's not a hum here, at least not.
It might be the type of connection we have. I don't know. It's,
yeah,
of course, it's balanced, so it's XLR connection, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's somewhere through the HDMI or whatever. So anyway, so we'll figure out as we go what the hot take will be, and then of course now it's going to seem echoey because of the room we're in, but we won't have any fantasy disc golf because as we just got word from PDGA, all sanctioned events will be canceled through, what was the date? I forgot.
I think it's just 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
End of March, pretty much.
And then, of course, at the end of 2 weeks, they'll reevaluate to see where we're at as far as mitigating the spread of the virus. So there won't be any skip ace, but we can do some. When we're here, might as well talk about all kinds of stuff on after show.
Sounds like there's an open window with a mic right in front of it. Huh. Is the boom on the camera live?
Let me check. It shouldn't be, but it might be. Let me see what happens if I... No, because that's where the sound's coming from. But if I do this, then I get sound.
I wonder what it is. Oh, well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. The boom microphone's not even connected.
Oh, okay.
That's right, because we're using the inputs for that.
Gotcha.
I wonder... Hold on.
It could be the Mac fans, he says.
Is there still a meter? Yep.
Well, we'll see.
I turned off phantom power because I don't think this needs phantom power. I don't know if that might cause or help. No, automatic gain is not on. We could probably turn the gain down. All right. I think we're good.
All right. Let's do it.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was the phantom power being sent through that didn't need it to happen.
So you might gain us back up. Well, no, I guess our audio is probably fine.
Yeah, our audio's fine.
Everything's good for you guys? We good to go? What Bobby did was good. That got rid of it. Better issue solved. That made it better. Turning off Phantom did it. Sweet. Cool.
Booyah. Learning as we go.
Am I supposed to lean this way the whole time? Just so that we try and stay 6 feet apart?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. What do you guys say we get into some of the disc golf questions? We got about 9 questions and about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 speak pipe. So we'll get through a few questions here.
I'm about to stand up because
this hurt. Yeah. These are not. Great. These are made to eat dinner and visit with people, but not to run podcasts.
Oh. No pain, no gain.
What if we put a pillow behind you?
Maybe I'll try that instead. Hold, please. That might be better.
Is that better? Joshua, we'll get a few questions out of here. How will the GBO proceed for refunds? So an email was sent out to GBO participants with full information about that. You'll get, if you are a participant, make sure you check your email for that information. I don't know the exact wording on that as far as the different divisions, so I don't want to make the mistake of putting out false information or incorrect information. So if you want to check your email, maybe check your junk mail if it didn't get sent. If you did not receive it, check your junk mail folder. But the exact process for the refunds will be handled through the email that you used when you registered.
Johnny V, is this better? Does that help you? He said we should angle the microphones differently, and I'm not sure I understand what he's asking. So
okay, some of you
whatever we out here.
I don't know what. Is it because, if we talk like this, it's going to sound echoey, but if we go like this, it won't.
Well, sure, but whatever. For the sake of video, do you care which side this is on? Is this okay, or should I do it on the other?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, let's freaking do it then.
Let's do it. All right, I got to hit record on the Sling Studio.
Okay.
Bam. Recording is in progress. All right, here we go for the official audio podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze. I have with me Robert Ain't Got No Corona McCall.
No Corona here.
No Corona here. So if you tuned in live on YouTube, you'll know that our setup is a little different in that we are broadcasting live from the basement of the McCall's house where I currently reside. We have decided, a few of us have decided that are able to work from home to go ahead and do that to help slow down the spread of the virus. So obviously this is a disc golf podcast. We're not here to discuss the ins and outs or what we should have done or what we are doing as far as the virus is concerned, but we are following certain I guess you could call it mandates that have been put out, precautions that have been put out. So anyway, we thought we should still try to do something because we know you guys are probably missing out on disc golf media because there aren't any events. It's just me and Robert. Eric is out on assignment doing some stuff with some of our players here in town. Anthony and Danny are at their homes doing some video editing. So make sure you're subscribed on YouTube and follow us on Facebook, because we're still going to have some good content to put out. Danny's got some really cool how-to beginners, video stuff working on. Anthony's got his 2-Minute Tuesdays he's working on, and some other promo stuff he's working on. So we're still pumping out some disc golf media for you. So make sure you are tuned in. But we're going to do, let's see.
Just an audio thing.
Oh, okay.
From Danny.
So Danny's giving us a little audio cue, so we're going to see if we can fix that a little bit. So stand by on the audio. All right, here we go.
Let's do it.
So it may have been peaking because I do tend to talk louder once the podcast starts. I get this like announcer voice, like, I have got to sound better. No.
I disagree.
You disagree. All right, so we're going to get into the questions. We have 9 questions. We'll start with the first one from Andrew. It's about throwing lefty as a right-handed player.
As always.
Question on the side.
As always, if you want to submit a question, you can go to discgolfanswerman.com. We're kind of running low on questions right now.
I know.
And we've only got time to answer them.
Right. Yeah.
Got basically nothing but time. So go to discgolfanswerman.com, submit a question via the Google form or through SpeakPipe, which is kind of like a voicemail if you're new to the show. We've got a few of those to go through, but yeah, give us some questions during this time.
You may not be able to get out and play disc golf tournaments, but man, you can go out the backyard, out to the course by yourself and get some practice time in. If you have questions about your form or anything, give us a shout.
Yes.
All right, Andrew says, hello, crew. I hope all is well. I started playing less than 6 months ago and starting to get into the swing of things. I am predominantly a right-handed person in everyday life. For some reason, growing up, I learned how to throw a regular frisbee with my left hand. So when I got into disc golf, I naturally felt way more comfortable using my left arm for backhand swings. All is well, but now I feel like I should learn how to at least use forehands for those occasional shots that best warrants them. Problem is, lefty forehand is unnatural to me and is a bit difficult, considering when I threw frisbee growing up, it was always with backhand. Using right-hand forehand seems redundant since it's technically the same type of shot for lefty backhand. What should I do? Should I suck it up and get good with lefty forehand? Should I relearn everything? Any suggestions?
Yeah, relearn everything.
Yeah, just start from the square one. Go back in time.
Answer. If you're already pretty solid with your left-hand backhand, I think I would just stick with righty backhand. Like if you have both, right? Because for me, I have a hard enough time throwing forehand with my right hand, much less my left hand. It's super duper difficult. I can't do it since it's very foreign to me. In fact, when we're out playing, we'll have lefty forehand contests, just, driving distance contests. And I doubt I'm getting it over 100 feet. It's bad. So it's because it feels really foreign. If you're normally a right-handed person, I think learning righty backhand would complement your lefty backhand just as well. I don't think that right-hand forehand and left-hand backhand are different enough to say that you need to have both. If you have one, you're good to go. So if you're already liking your backhand, try and mirror that and work on that righty backhand. I think that's a good way to do it.
Excellent. All right, looks like we have a little over 200 people tuned in right now. If you guys would do us a quick favor, and if you are able on your mobile device, tap that thumbs up. Or if you're on your computer, click that thumbs up and see if we can get a few likes on our video. We appreciate it. Make Sebastian happy over there. He's taking a nap, but he's sure is excited about getting those thumbs up. All right, next one comes from Eric. It's about footwork for fairway shots. Any tips on run-ups for fairway shots? Every time that I try to X-step into my throw anywhere other than the tee pad, I focus too much on where my plant foot lands in order to avoid a footfall. This leads to inconsistent form with poor results. Do you have any tips or drills to get around this mental barrier? Thanks for all you do thanks for all your help and all we do.
But he just said for your help.
Right, but I'm throwing that in. All we've done, and all we will do.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to name my first child after you guys. He didn't say that, but Bobby's just inserting it there. So one of the things that I would suggest if you're having trouble throwing from the fairway is don't mark your disc with a mini. Instead, leave your disc in place. It just gives you a little bit larger target visually. I think that helps. So that you don't have to think about your feet quite as much. You can still concentrate on your form. But the other thing to do is when you're out doing field work and practicing, put a disc down that you're going to plant behind. If you're practicing fairway shots, you want to know where your feet are going, regardless of if you're on the tee or in the fairway. But putting a disc down will help you to plant behind that and get used to that. Because now, I mean, when I go out and play, I don't really think much about where my feet are going to be or anything like that. It's ingrained, but it's because I practiced it a whole lot. That's what I would suggest, is just get out there and practice it a whole bunch.
So if you're just tuning in, you will probably be wondering, if you're a regular listener, or a watcher, you're probably wondering about where we're at. We are doing a special coronavirus episode only in that we are not in our regular studios. But what's really cool about that is I'm in charge of the mixer, which means the return of audio effects.
That's so loud. Like, that's exceptionally loud.
I didn't know it's going to be that loud. Sorry, guys.
Oh, my gosh. I hate it.
Okay, I'll make adjustments there. Sorry. There we go. All right. So anyway, hopefully I didn't blow your speakers out while you're listening. If I did, I apologize. Back to the questions. This one is a speak pipe. This one is from Spencer. So hang tight. We're going to see if we can make sure the volume is good.
Hey, DeGam fam. This is Spencer from Lynchburg, Virginia. I started playing disc golf last year after switching over from Ultimate Frisbee. Gotten my throw up to about average 375 in the peaks of 400. But as I was filming myself, I realized that when I'm doing a full throw using a power grip, when my hand is coming through the power pocket, my pinky comes off the disc. And the more I filmed myself, I realized I did this every time I was doing a full throw. Doesn't happen when I'm doing like 3/4 or a upshot or anything like that. It's only when I'm doing full power that my pinky comes off the disc, like I'm a fancy Englishman. So I was wondering, one, am I losing power by doing that? And two, if I am, is there a way to correct that you know of? I showed a video to a few people in town, and no one really had seen that before or known what to do. So any ideas you guys have would be awesome. Thanks, and have a great day.
Thanks, Spencer. I noticed that same thing about myself. In fact, a little while ago, I was getting ready to throw with a 4-finger power grip, and then by the time I got to the front of the tee, pinky is off, and I was throwing with 3, and I was like, man, that's weird. So after a while, I just thought, I'm just going to try throwing with a 3-finger power grip and see how that goes. And now that's what I do. So for me, I was just like you. I was annoyed because I didn't know when it was going to happen. It just felt like it happened every time. So once I just took that pinky out of the equation, it helped me a lot. That's something that I would suggest. Otherwise, it seems like you're doing something that you'd have to kind of relearn the way that you grip a disc. It's going to be a little bit unnatural from what you're used to. So try a 3-finger power grip. See how it goes.
Excellent. All right. Next one comes from Josh. This is apparently maybe looks like he's in a slump.
What gave it away?
The subject that said slump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've hit a disc golf slump. Maybe it's just the still cool weather, but everything just feels a little more off than what I finished last year at. Why disc golf do that? What do you guys do when you find yourself in a multiple week/month slump?
You make sure and enunciate those P's, don't you? Yeah. Everyone.
Imagine if I didn't have the little.
I know.
Thing on
the plosives would kill all of you guys.
It would implosive.
Thank you. I think everybody has that when you come off of the winter. It's cold outside. It's still a little cool. Actually, in Emporia, it's kind of nice right now compared to what it has been, but it has been pretty cold and wet up until this point. And I think when everybody comes back, there's a bit of, uncertainty about what you're going to be able to do and what your form is going to feel like. The best thing for you to do is just to disregard results when you start right now and just focus on your process, right? Make sure that when you are getting ready to throw your shots, you're kind of checking off the things that you need to do to throw the disc well, and then just follow those. And if it's a bad shot, no big deal. What you don't want to do is focus so much on the result that you start picking up bad habits, and then those kind of become your whole game after that. That's not what you want to do. Focus on the process. Make sure that you're doing what you know to be correct, or at least correct for you, and everything will start to come back. It's just a matter of knocking the rust off, really. I'd say that's the biggest thing.
All right, next. Oh. Usually right about now I talk about upcoming events. There's not really any events upcoming. However,
our upcoming event is next week's social distancing special edition of Disc Golf Answer Man, where we'll be sitting here again.
Yes.
Next week.
Next week. No, but well, now that I think about it, Disc Golf Match Play?
That might still be on.
That could still be on. So make sure you go to discgolfmatchplay.com and see what's happening in your local brackets, because that's still a thing. That's still something that you are able to do because it's limited numbers to get out there and play some disc golf. So, check that out, discgolfmatchplay.com, and look for brackets near you. Yeah.
Something to be looking forward to this week as well is Disc Golf Audio. One of the podcasts that we do here is On the Call. It's taken a little bit of a break because we were in between tournaments. But I have a guest lined up for this week. Colton Montgomery, the gentleman who won Waco Annual Charity
Dale
Open.
Earnhardt?
Dude, he was killing it with the hair and the mustache game.
I'm telling you.
I'm going to tell you the truth. Like, Colton and I have only played disc golf together one time, and it was at Ledgestone. And we just, like, broed out. We had a great, at least I felt like we did. Had a great time just playing and enjoy. Like, neither of us played very well, but just enjoyed the round, had good vibes the whole time. And since then, I've been like, you know what? I'm a fan of that guy. I really like him. And so when he was climbing up the leaderboard, I was like, bro, come on. Couple of eagles. Oh, sorry if I spoiled that for anybody. Couple of eagles in the back nine. And yeah, he was just shredding it out there. And so I'm really excited to talk to him about his mental process and I guess shed some light on a player that I think more people should know about that maybe they don't. So you can see that we still plan on Friday for that is a good release time.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, once you get it recorded, we can just
Friday morning, that's when you can expect to hear a new On the Call with Waco Annual Charity Open winner, Colton Montgomery.
Excellent.
Or Colin Montgomery if you're Nate Doss.
Yeah. He did it like every time, I think.
He did. Jamie corrected him, but it's like it's ingrained now. I think we had a good laugh at that.
That's hilarious. All right, next one comes from Kevin. This is about moving up a division. I hear you guys talk about moving up divisions and that it will help me over time. My situation is that I am nearing intermediate rating and want to move up, but I keep finishing second and third in rec after having first round leads sometimes. Should I stay in rec to learn how to close out a win or go ahead and move up even though I won't be in contention in that division?
You could kind of go either way. I would be in favor of you playing.
Solid advice. You can do what you want. Thanks for sending your question.
Hey, here's an idea. How about I finish the answer and you keep looking at what hot take you're going to do? Because
I know I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay, anyway. I think that you do have a couple of options. One, you can just play where your rating is in rec. Or you can play up in intermediate, like you said. One of the benefits, I think there are obvious benefits to playing up in intermediate. And we've talked about those pretty extensively. You're playing with better players. You're seeing a little bit more of what's possible. That's all good stuff. I do think there's probably something worthwhile to say that if you play rec, that you can learn how to win. I think learning how to win is a pretty important skill in disc golf that it takes people a while to learn. And you kind of only get experience in that situation by being in that situation. So putting yourself in that spot where you do have to close out a tournament, be in the lead and hold the lead or come from behind, something like that, I think that could be beneficial. So it's really whichever way you want to do it isn't bad, but I do think there is benefit to learning how to win no matter what division it's in.
Excellent. All right, let's go to a speak pipe. This one from Jesse.
What's up, Disc Golf Answer Man? So we already know that we got the Amateur Match Play Championships. It's about to start. The local events are. What would you say that your tips would be going into this as an amateur who hasn't played that many tournaments? Thanks for all you guys do. See you guys later.
I would say sign up.
Invite 15 of your friends.
Invite 15 of your friends. Go out and play the best you've ever played in your entire life.
Okay, here's some real advice.
How is that false advice?
It's not false advice.
Totally legit.
I want to play well, so I play well. That's not how it works.
When I want to eat, you know what I do? I eat.
Hot take. Eating is easier than playing well at disc golf.
We should replace throwing with eating. No.
Verified evidence of that. All right, so something that's different about match play from stroke play is that in stroke play at tournaments, a lot of times you feel like you're competing against the course. You have a game plan. You're not really going to change it regardless of what other people are doing, and I think that's a good strategy for stroke play. For match play, it's a little bit different in that you're only playing one other person. So let's say your game plan, if you're playing Jones East, right? If you shot every shot according to your game plan, then you would shoot a 50, and that'd be a pretty good score. But when you're playing match play and your competitor isn't playing that well, maybe they're on track to shoot like a 56 or 58 or 60 or something like that. You don't have to still gun for your 50 if that's the case. If you shoot the equivalent, I mean, depending on how holes shake out, but if you shoot the equivalent of, a 57 or 58, most of the time that's going to win you the match. So one thing is to know that you're going to go into match play with a plan. Know that that plan might not end up being the thing that you need to do in order to win the match or win a hole. So your game plan needs to be a little bit fluid. You need to be able to adapt a little bit. Another thing about match play is I think a lot of people, especially in stroke play, will have a bad hole where they get a bogey, double bogey, miss a short putt, whatever it is, and they let that affect them for the next few holes because they think, man, my score's not what I wanted it to be, right? Instead of doing that, match play is like one hole rounds. Once that hole is over, it's like a whole new round pretty much. So something that I think you should do is treat every hole as if it's its own round and don't really worry about if you win or lose one of them until you really have to. Say you're down 3 holes and you're down 3 holes and there's 3 holes to go. Yeah, you have to push a little bit because if you even tie one of those, you're going to lose the match. But up until that point, on the first hole, say your opponent absolutely parks it and you struggle and get a 5 and they got a 2. Well, on the scorecard in match play, that's just written as 1 up. It's not +3. It's not anything like that. It's just 1 up. That's 1 hole. You basically have 17 more opportunities to best him or her, depending on who you're playing. So treat those as individual opportunities and pay attention to what your playing competitor is doing. Another good example is there's no shame in laying up a putt. Even if you think it's one that you would normally make or come close to making, maybe it's like a 30-footer, 35, little hill nearby or OB nearby or something. There is strategy in laying that up and saying to your opponent, you need to make this 25-footer to win the hole or to push the hole or whatever it is. So playing a little bit more to your competitor, there's a little bit of gamesmanship in that. That's why I like match play so much.
I know that so many times in match play here in Emporia, a lot of people would find out who won a certain match, and people would be like, "What?
Yeah,
that's not who. No, what?
Yeah.
So you just never know."
That's how it is, man. That's I've had that happen. We did match play, like smaller match play events in Austin when I lived there, and I beat people that I had no business beating that were verifiably better disc golfers than me. And on the other side, I lost to people that I thought I should never lose to. I was rated 40 or 50 points higher than them. They came out to play. I didn't have my best stuff, and I lost. Yeah. But that's just how it goes.
What? That's what it should
do.
What? I wanted you to feel what it was when people were surprised. What?
Yeah.
Is that enough?
Maybe they weren't surprised. Maybe they were like, yeah, I expected that to happen. Right. That guy sucks. Right. I don't know. It's hard to say.
All right, so next question is from Christopher. Oh, this is obviously a very timely question because it says coronavirus. Now, it was submitted on 3/13, which, if you've been following along, every day it seems to be something new. So that, even though it was submitted 4 days ago, my gosh, so much has happened in just the 4 days. Do you think this coronavirus is something to freak out about? I saw that tournaments are suspended for April because of it. Do you think it will affect disc golf more than that? Thanks for the awesome podcast. Do I think it's something to freak out about? Freak out about? No.
Yeah, it kind of depends on how you define those words.
Yeah, freak. Yeah. My definition would be like total hysteria, or like when I say I freak out, I'm like, beyond control. No. However, I think we're learning that we need to take it a little more serious than was first thought of, I guess. I don't want to get into it too much on here, just because there's all kinds of opinions going out about conspiracies and things like that. But I think we're starting to learn that it is a bigger deal than what a lot of people thought. And there are a lot of unknowns, a lot of uncertainties going on.
Yeah. I'll say too, I don't, freak out might not be the right words, because hysteria is not what I think we should do. At the same time, I do think we should take precautions that we're being asked to take so that it doesn't become a bigger deal. You know, looking at the statistics of the way that it spreads, if we had started, social distancing and social isolation a week ago, we would have exponentially fewer cases. If we don't do that in a week, we'll have exponentially more, just that sort of stuff. So if you're in a position to be able to follow as many guidelines as possible, the way that I look at it is like, this is probably going to be a few week long thing. Nobody's really excited about that. But I would readily give up a few weeks of kind of normalcy for the sake of getting back to normal more quickly, right? Instead of saying like, I'm going to do what I want now, but in return, or we as a culture are going to do what we want now, and in return, this thing's going to last a lot longer. Instead of that, take precautions now. Maybe you don't get to play as much disc golf or do as much fun stuff or travel as much as you wanted to, but we're able to do that a little bit sooner as a result. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at on it.
All right. This one is from Seeker of the Truth, and it's a question for EMAC, but maybe you can give some input because you do throw the EMAC Truth. How do you prefer your EMAC Truths? Domey, flat, no preference. I've been throwing Mako 3s and buzzes for my mid-ranges and would like to finally try one of those EMAC Truths you guys speak so highly of.
Yeah.
Thanks for all you guys do for our sport and keep it real. We'll try to keep this one for EMAC so he can give his preference. But what's your preference?
I can tell you
Robert?
what EMAC's preference is too. It's domey ones. At least a moderate dome. If they're lucid and flat, those are going to be the ones that are a little bit straighter for the whole flight and maybe have a little bit of a tendency to turn to the right. That's a helpful disc to have. But if you're talking about like the good EMACs that you can count on, they're the ones that have just a little bit of dome. They're very, very, very straight for the beginning of the flight. You can work them to the right or work them to the left, and they just have a little consistent fade. They're going to be a little bit more overstable than a Buzz and a Mako 3. Those are pretty straight they can be slightly understable depending on the mold that you're throwing. But the EMAC is going to be slightly more overstable, and the ones that we like just have a little bit of dome on them. And EMAC throws the lucid ones. That's pretty much what I throw as well.
All right, next one is from Corey. He wants some help on correcting bad form. I've been playing disc golf since 2006 and never took it serious. Come on now.
Come on, man.
Started playing tournaments last year, and that competitive feeling makes me want to improve. You've got that competitive feeling. Oh, that.
Copyright ding, man.
Oh, man.
Quit singing so accurately to the song so that we get...
You thought you were watching Top Gun again.
I did.
I've been filling my drives. Filming. I bet you he means filming.
Yeah, that's probably it.
I have been filming my drive while doing some field work and have noticed I lead with my chest/head instead of driving with the elbow.
Yep.
This causes me to round. I can throw around that 330 feet consistently in a good pull 360 area. What are some tips to make sure my elbow is coming through before my upper body? When I have noticed I'm pulling through with the elbow first, it's always nose up. Thanks.
Good question, Corey. I would say that you and I struggle with some of the same form inadequacies. I've worked a little bit on mine over time, but I totally understand what's going on. For me, it's that I was always trying to, when I started rounding more, I was kind of trying to save my right knee a little bit. And that kind of made me think, okay, well, if I rotate everything else faster, I don't have to put as much brace on that front leg, and that's not great. So I talked to Danny about it just a little bit. One of the things that you can do to ensure that you're leading with your elbow is, one, slow everything down and do the motion of, instead of starting with your shoulders, start with your elbow and then watch everything follow. Start with your elbow, get that to that 90 degrees, and then have everything else follow it. That's one of the things that you can do. But then when you're going at full speed or 80% or whatever, try when you're reaching back, watch the disc come across your chest, because you can't, if you're leading with your head and your shoulders, you can't really do that, right? If your arm's going to stay bent kind of on the outside of your body and do the rounding thing that everybody hates, or at least says that they hate. I mean, you should. You can't really look at it and round at the same time. So think about getting that elbow into place so that you can see the stamp of the disc as you bring it to your chest.
Do you stop? Do you stop and go cool stamp and then go throw it? No.
No, you're going to want to use discs that don't have cool stamps so that you don't.
So you don't stop and pay attention.
So you don't fall prey to that pitfall of being like, "Hey, cool stamp."
Let's see. There's a commercial I'm trying to work on for Paige Shoe.
Yes.
That I don't know if it'll work, but I'm behind her and she runs does her run up on the tee pad, right? And so I'm behind her and I'm kind of following her, and then as she turns around to stretch her arm out, she looks at the camera and winks.
Oh,
and then throws.
Nice.
So I'm going to try. We did it like 4 or 5 times, so I'd have enough footage, but I'm trying to see. So what happened is it'll be like normal speed, slow motion. She winks, and then normal speed, and she throws it. We'll see if it turns out. Hopefully it'll turn out good. All right. I'm going to try to have it done before. Speaking of a segue, perfect segue. Coming up in the next couple weeks will be the Lucid X Team Series for the Remainers. We've already had the Warden for AJ Risley and the Lucid X Verdict for Chris Clemens, but now we have Paige Shoe and her Lucid X Sheriff, Eric McCabe and his Lucid X EMAC Truth, Zach Melton and his Lucid X Maverick, and then, of course, last but not least, is Eric Oakley and his Lucid X Felon.
Hadn't heard of him.
Yeah. So those are going to be released.
Eric Oakley called me a second ago. Even coronavirus can't keep him from calling during this.
So he... all those 4 come out on 3/26, I believe, and they'll be available at dynamicdiscs.com or other retailers that you like to shop at.
Yeah.
All right, so Speak Pipe. This one comes from Scott.
Hello, my name is Scott Welker from Illinois. I recently had a bout with kidney problems. My kidneys don't work, and I got a fistula in my left arm. That's what I usually throw with. I am now throwing with my right arm. What is a good way of starting to throw with your right arm? Basically the same way as your left, stand still and then practice throwing putters and stuff like that. I would love your input. Thank you very much.
First of all, are you familiar with a fistula?
A what?
Isn't that what he said? What did he say he has in his elbow?
I didn't hear that.
Hello, my name is Scott Welker from Illinois. I recently had a bout with kidney problems. My kidneys don't work, and I got a fistula in my left arm.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay.
So
to his question, though.
Well, we are medical experts.
Yes.
So, forgot to share that. Scott, I hope that the kidney problems and the fistula, I think that's how you say it, are improving for you. Something that you can do when you're learning with your other arm is you already have a little bit of a head start because you've learned to do it with one side of your body. So when I go out and just mess around with throwing left-handed, I just try to think about mirroring what I'm doing. So it always helped. It always helped me to think about throwing right hand, right? Mimic that motion and then just do the same thing with the left, right? So think about it with your right and actually do it with your right, and then start to feel that with your left. And as you do that, you'll start to fine tune and hone in some of those really, they're like micro movements, but that make up the disc golf swing and that make it more efficient, right? So first thing to do is to think about mirroring it. But the other thing would be, just to start it off slow, just like you're learning to throw the first time. Stand still. Make sure that you're bringing the disc, flat across your body, that you're not throwing it nose up, that you're not swooping as you're pulling it through. And then once you can do that, you can work in some footwork, and then you get up to full speed and all that. I don't want to hear about this, please.
I'm trying to figure out what a fistula is. An abnormal connection between two hollow spaces, technically two
Epithelialized?
surfaces, such as blood vessels, intestines, or other hollow organs. Wow.
All right.
There you go. We got a super chat, Robert.
Steezy Dank, $5.19 super chat. Thank you. He says, thank you, CDSB Robert, and the rest of the DGAM team for continuing to keep us entertained in such dark times. $5.19. COVID has 5 letters. Why not?
Why not? Thank you so much, Steezy. You so Steezy.
Appreciate that.
I appreciate that. All right, let's go back to our question.
And one other super chat from CF3, $3.99. He says, peace.
Peace.
Thanks, CF3. We appreciate that,
Yeah,
man.
I appreciate that. All right, let's get through these questions. This one is from Hunter, the Raider, or as Robert likes to call it, the Radar.
Radar.
Hey, Disc Golf Instrument Crew. I've been throwing a lot of Westside discs in tournament plastic since I started playing about a year ago. I currently throw a pretty seasoned tournament Warhorse, a Star Destroyer, and 2 tournament Swords, or as we like to call it, S-words. I put that in. For my go-to distance drivers, all max weight. I've been wanting to try a Fusion Raider and was wondering where it would fit in my bag. It would probably fit right where you put your other discs.
Don't do it.
Yeah, it'll fit right in there. Same size, so it'll fit just fine. Thanks, guys. Keep it real. Team Maiden, why they do that?
Why they do that?
Why they do that? Dude, you've got to get a Raider. That disc is so money for so many people.
Good.
There you go.
Hashtag ad.
Yeah.
Hunter, honestly, where that disc will fit depends on what type of Star Destroyer that you have. Some of them come out very, very overstable. Some of them are pretty straight. Some of them are understable or beat up to the point where they're understable. And the Fusion Raider, I think, right out of the box, flies like probably about like a medium overstable destroyer. Those are pretty comparable flights. So depending on the destroyer that you have, it might be more overstable, it might be understable, it might do something really similar. But that's kind of where we would see that fit, is in that same slot.
Excellent.
They can live alongside one another if they're different stabilities. Like if yours is already understable, getting a Fusion Raider will get you something in between that and the Warhorse for sure. Ace Run Productions. Yeah.
That's
official soundboard.
Oh, wait, let's see what
No,
this-
please don't do that. It's even worse somehow.
For every super chat we get in this episode,
Please stop.
I will bring in the effects.
I appreciate the super chats, but for my sanity, please stop it. Okay, Ace Run Productions, $9.99. He says, thanks, guys, for entertaining us as always. Thanks, Latitude, for making the Sapphire filled slot I didn't know I needed. Yeah, if you haven't tried out the Sapphire yet, we've got the Chameleon ones available, and then we just made the Opto and Gold line ones available, I guess a couple weeks ago now. Yeah. And a lot of people are loving them because it's an easy to throw disc, a little bit wider rim than the Diamond or the Jade from Latitude 64, but they go far and they're not super understable. They're a little bit understable, but a lot of people are getting some really crazy flights out of them. So yeah, try those out and appreciate that, Felix. That's super nice. Doc says $2 super chat. He says $1 a piece that they can use if toilet paper gets gone. Thank you.
We're having
Doc.
a COVID-19 sale on Bobby's Echo Effect.
Yeah.
Just give us a super chat.
Please, literally anybody buy it so it can be out of here.
All right. Let's see. We've got 2 more speak pipe. So let's get through those. This one's from G. What up, G?
What is up, you beautiful gentlemen? This is G calling from Vancouver, BC. It's a beautiful, cold, relaxed
You're
Sunday
beautiful,
night.
G.
Corona is on the mind of a lot of people. The city might be shutting down, but my mind, for some reason, is on disc golf. Specifically, I have one question regarding hyzers. Now, I've gotten really good at bending at my waist to be able to kind of execute a hyzer shot and flip it up to flat. But what I'm having a difficulty with is how do you do just a tiny bit of hyzer? Just a baby hyzer. Because I can't bend at my waist just a tiny bit. Is there something else that maybe you guys do just to get a little bit of hyzer on your discs when you're driving or approaching? Thanks for your time, guys, and hope you're doing well.
All right, before we go to the question.
Old folks home coming in with $1.99. He says, pew, pew, pew.
He wanted that pew, pew, pew.
Yeah. And Jerome in the chat said lasers. Why'd he do that?
Why did he do that? All right, so to G's question.
G, to answer your question.
She wants some baby Heiser.
So you said you've become accustomed to leaning over at the waist when you're trying to throw Heisers, and that you can't just bend over a little bit. I disagree. I think that's exactly how you throw a little Heiser. For me, if my natural release is a Heiser release, and so when I stand up relatively straight, I'm going to let the disc go on just a little bit of Heiser. If I need to throw even more Heiser, that's when I adjust the angle of my torso a little bit more. So for you, if your natural release is more flat, then you should be able to just tilt forward just a little bit and work on that Heiser. If your natural release is an Heiser, then you may need to lean forward just a little bit more than that. But it really is just about first of all, try standing straight up, super duper straight when you throw. I mean, but you don't. Not so straight that you're not limber, that you can't move, but try and stand up pretty straight, throw a few times and see what that looks like, see what your natural release is. You can find angles, I think, a little bit easier from there.
Very cool. So since we don't have Skip Ace and Fantasy Disc Golf to talk about, now I did see Johnny V said something. Is he still on here? Do you know? Is he still posting questions or posting?
He hasn't in the last little bit.
If you're on here, John V, I know you said something about possibly getting up. Well, no, that didn't even matter now because that was before the most recent suspension of events. So yeah, so there won't be anything on. Okay, never mind.
Well,
sorry.
we can review Waco.
Okay.
But,
that's right.
We won't be able to do anything.
We can review, but yeah, nothing. So okay. So anyway, what I was getting at is there is one question here that I'm going to save for the after show, and it has to do with Brody Smith, his performance at Waco, and his effect on views. I thought that'd be interesting to talk about on the after show.
I'm with it.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll save that question for the after show. But before that, we got another super chat. Oh, he wants baby. Your voice won't do it, Robert. You can talk. Go ahead.
Please turn it off. Thank you. Old folks home with $1.99 super chat. He says he just needs to baby pew pew pew.
He needs a baby pew pew.
That's what it is. Yeah.
All right, to the questions because I'm sure our listeners probably get annoyed. This one is
only our listeners. Huh?
Only the listeners. Everybody in the room.
Everyone in this room is fine with it.
Yeah, we're having a blast. This one's on disc drives. This one's from Ben. I've been playing for the past year, and I have found that my drives are coming up short by throwing my disc too low to the ground. Is there anything I can do to maintain my speed while getting enough height? Thank you so much.
I'm interested. Okay,
You've got the question right there.
Well, yeah, I see it. I'm just kind of confused about my drives are coming up short by throwing my disc too low to the ground. So why I'm confused is it makes it sound like the only way that he can get the speed that he wants to get is by throwing the disc very low. And I think that
maybe him trying to put a lot of power is causing him to throw it downward. I guess
torque over the top of it is about the only thing that I could really think. Ben, I would say the same thing to you. One is if you are coming up short and you know that that's your natural miss, there's a short-term fix and a long-term one. The short-term one would be if you're trying to throw a shot that's 200 feet to the basket and you find yourself always coming up about 40 feet short. In your mind, throw a shot that's like a 240-foot shot because that's that's playing to your miss, right? For me, I know I have a natural Heiser release. If I can throw a Heiser, I'm playing to my miss so that if I do miss to the left a little bit, I'm playing so that that'll be a safer shot than missing to the right. Rarely am I going to miss to the right too much. Same thing goes for you. If you're playing to your miss, aim for a longer shot, and if you come up short, then that's totally fine. And if you go long, then you're improving. But I'd say the long-term fix is to film yourself and see kind of what your angle of release looks like. I think most of your shots shouldn't have to go, much high. It depends on the shot that you're throwing, but if it's just a flat shot, most of your shots don't need to be super high to get where they need to go. But they also don't need to be 5 feet off the ground and just absolute bullets. One of the things that you can do to help create that distance control is put a little bit more height on it so it spikes into the ground instead of having to just use the glide of the disc to slow it down, right? Let me clarify that a little bit just because I feel like that's confusing. If you throw a shot super straight and it's gliding just absolutely dead straight, the only thing that's going to stop that disc from gliding, assuming it's a wide open field, is the ground, right? And that's, if you miss by just a little bit of power, that's probably the difference between being really close and being 40 or 50 feet away. Whereas if you throw a hyzer instead, you can miss that power just a little bit more, and I think it's going to be closer to the basket because you have more than just the ground stopping your disc from flying. You have the descent of the disc coming into the ground. So it's just a little bit more, I think it's a little bit easier to control your distance that way. So those would be a couple of things to work on. The other thing that I would suggest is if you want to send some video of your form over to dgamform@gmail.com. Danny has been taking those and making videos with suggestions for our listeners on there. I think there might be something in your form that's causing you to throw lower than you need to, and it's likely he'd be able to help you out with that. Yeah. So dgamform@gmail.com. That's a great place to do it.
Yes, we always recommend that you get out and film your form so that you can see mistakes that you might not even think you're making. Or as a gentleman mentioned earlier, you can file yourself rather than film.
Yeah, filing yourself.
Filing yourself. It might be just as effective, but we don't know. But let us know.
Probably not.
Let's see. Let's go back to, let's do our last speak pipe for the week. Guys, I know there's not a lot of disc golf going on, but come on, send your questions in so we can have some more speak pipe next week. We'll talk about anything and everything.
No, that's not true.
Oh, no. This one's from Chooch Charlie. What's that song? We got the hooch. Something, babe. I don't know the song. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Copyright ding again. Twice in one episode.
Hey, that hooch is crazy.
Hooch is crazy.
Hooch is crazy.
Thank you, Scrubs. Dang it! I'm sorry. Spoiler.
I was going to see if people could know their reference.
Hooch is crazy.
Hooch is crazy.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man. This is Chooch Charlie, Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Got a question about re-teeing. Got a local course here, Sankanak, that there's 2 holes in a row, really tight, narrow fairways. You hit first available on that, you are going deep, at least half the time. And I've always wondered, so say I'm on a card and I tee off and I hit first available and it goes deep. The other 3 guys, they all tee off. Can I then call, hey, I'm going to re-tee? Or do I need to say that right away, right after I shank? And then I guess the other question is, do I re-tee right away? Or do I need to wait for the rest of my card to go and then re-tee? I'm just looking for what's the protocol for re-teeing and throwing for 3. Anyway, keep it real. Thank you much.
What you got, Robert?
Super good question. I was trying to find the actual verbiage of the PDGA rule on that really quick. I wasn't able to do so just right now, but what I've seen before is I've seen it a couple of ways. One is, so when I played USDGC, hole 17, they'll have you, all right, so you don't make the island green with the hay bales and everything, then you just re-tee immediately right then, because it's not like you're moving up to a different spot. It's a mandatory re-tee. So you don't get to advance until you either make the island or miss the island 3 times, which I did. So it sucked. But that's it. You just re-tee right then. I think I think that's an option for you. There's also the option of everybody throws and you kind of start heading towards your disc and you're like, man, there's no way I'm going to be able to get out of that. And before you even find it, you can just abandon it and go back to the box. So essentially it'd be doing like what you said, let everybody else throw, and then you say that you're going to re-tee. So I'm not sure of the exact time frame associated with that. I know that you can also get to your disc, make the decision that you need to re-tee instead of throwing from there and then go and do that. So I'm not sure that the timing is as specific as it was on that island hole, because you don't get to advance at all if you don't make it on the island. In a situation like this, normally you did have somewhere to advance to. You just didn't want to. So you can abandon that throw at any time.
Excellent. All right, let's see. We've got a couple more on. Let's see how long we've been going for Disc Golf Answer Man. About 46 minutes. We got time for a few more questions. This one's from, oh, no, we already did that one. Sorry. Yep. So we only got one more question because the last question I want to discuss on our after show. So let's see. Yep. This one's from Lincoln. This is about local leagues. Lincoln likes to know about local leagues and Lily Lilacs last night on the Louisiana lectern. I've been playing disc golf for almost a year and am fully addicted. I want to improve my competing against others, but I don't enjoy those in my local league. I've played in 2 tournaments this year and loved competing, but the culture in this league is very different from me. I personally choose to not drink, smoke, or curse. Not saying that people that do these things are bad, and I'm not passing any judgment. Kind of sounds like you are. But it is less enjoyable for me when almost every single person at the tournament is dropping F-bombs, drinking beers, and smoking. It just seems to be the culture of the league, which is not how I choose to live. I don't know how it is around other leagues, but I'd prefer to spend my time disc golfing with people that I enjoy being around. I'm wondering if you guys have any opinions on what should or could I do, as well as your thoughts on the culture around disc golf leagues. This is actually, it's interesting because, gosh, I don't know how many years ago, it's very, very, very familiar to a question that way back when we answered, because, I don't know, it just sounds very familiar. Anyway, so here's my thoughts, and I kind of poked fun at you and said it sounds like you're judging. I know you're not judging. However, if this is a culture that you don't like, but it seems usually a culture either happens on purpose, it's something that you try to implement, or it just happens because you allowed it to happen. Right. And I'm not saying you are, but it is allowed to happen. I should say not you allowed it, but it is allowed. So in other words, if it's a culture that it's like that, it's more likely because everybody else is comfortable with it. They're okay. You know, there's some people that drop F-bombs and it's just like normal language to them, not good or bad. It's just kind of a normal way of communicating. If that's not something you like, then either you have to put up with it or you go and play somewhere else. And I know that sounds maybe harsh, but it is what it is. I mean, if you don't like it, maybe start at your own league with some people that maybe have similar thoughts as far as the way they carry themselves or the way they talk or the way they conduct themselves and go from there. I mean, you're not going to change it.
Yeah.
And I don't think you should. That's just what it is.
Well, I mean, the argument about should or shouldn't, I think, is up to the player. If they feel like they have a moral,
well, he says, "What are your opinions on what should?"
Right.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
If the player feels like they have a moral obligation to try and change it, do what you're going to do. I'm not saying it's going to be effective, but like if you feel like you have that moral obligation, do your thing. Don't be surprised if the culture doesn't follow that. Right. Or if it rejects that, because that's how it is. Like you said, culture is either intentional or just accepted. That's how it is. Either way, culture is that because it's been that for the most part. Unless you're coming into something brand new and there's a blank slate, there's already pre-existing norms.
And I guess, it sounds like from the wording of your question, is that what you have? I don't know what your experience is with leagues. I don't know if you've been to 1, 2, or 20 of them. But I know the league here in Emporia, I'm sure that, as far as language, people just kind of free reign with language. But you won't find the leagues that we normally attend, people drinking and now they'll smoke because they're going to smoke no matter what. They just happen to be disc golfing and they want to smoke.
Sure.
But as far as like drinking and stuff like that, you're not going to see that. Now, someone may have a can of beer here and there, but it's not like we're out there to party. Now, I have been to events where that is the thing, where in fact they even had shots of Crown Royal on each tee pad. But that's everybody knew going in. This was the event where you were going to by hole 12, you were going to be pretty tanked. So, yeah,
I would say the only recourse that you have if you are concerned about the culture of the event is that if it's a sanctioned event, there are rules in place for that, right? So you are not allowed to drink alcohol at a sanctioned event. You're not allowed to smoke weed or anything like that at those events. If it's a higher tier event, they also prohibit vaping and smoking cigarettes, but that doesn't sound like what this is. If it's just like a local league where it's a competitive round, but it's not sanctioned, there's not really much you can do about that. So it's kind of like you said, you can be a part of it and not enjoy yourself. Or what I would suggest is, since you can't really change it, at least I don't think you can reasonably, is if you're not going to enjoy yourself, regardless of if you're going to enjoy the activity or not, do it in a different place. Do it at a different time. Find people who are more aligned with what you want to do. I've played, I don't think this is a secret to anybody who listens to the show, at least who has it as of late, but I don't drink. I don't smoke. I know. Shocker. I don't like to curse. I have before. I try to keep myself from doing it, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But just because those aren't things that I do doesn't mean that I can't enjoy the company of people who happen to do those things. Like some of my good friends will have a beer or two while they're playing disc golf, or will smoke while they're out on the course. I don't really have, I guess, not so much weed for the people around here, but people that I've played with before, that was something that they wanted to do on their time. It's not my favorite thing to do, but their life isn't mine to live. And so I think there's something to deciding if the activity is worth the culture that goes with it. And that's different in different places. Like you said, it's not really like that here in Emporia so much, but I've been in places where it has been, and you just have to decide if that's for you or not.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, that's all the time we have for the Disc Golf Answer Man on our regular show. We are out of questions except for one that we're saving for the after show. So if you are a listener or if you're a watcher, make sure you send in some questions. Otherwise, we won't have much to talk about next week.
Yeah, but what you can do in the meantime is go to iTunes
and rate and review our show.
Yeah, why don't you just throw us a little rating of 5 stars?
I wonder if anybody's rated us lately.
Yeah, let's go ahead and check that out. iTunes is the best place and / kind of the only place that you can throw reviews in there, but we love getting 5-star reviews from you guys as we work. We work pretty hard to make this podcast a thing. Audio issues
today,
sometimes.
I worked really hard. Ooh, I don't have iTunes on here.
It's because it's called Apple Music now.
No, they separated it, didn't they?
Oh, it's Apple Music
podcasts
and Apple
are part
Podcasts.
of that. My bad. Yeah. Okay, I don't want. No, I thought it was something different.
I just saw in the chat, Sam said, my country has banned organized gatherings of 5 or more people as of today.
5?
So the tourney I've been waiting months to play has been postponed. Sam, we feel that, man. We had to cancel the GBO this year. And it's just, it's heartbreaking, honestly. It's a year of preparation for us we look forward to every year. Like, we love preparing Emporia for people to come here. We love having people here that we haven't seen in a long time. We love getting to do the player party and the bonfire, but our hand was forced in how it happened, and now we know for the safety of everybody. It's because you're not on podcasts.
I think they split up and they got it. It has its own app.
It does.
Oh,
that's what I said a second ago.
That's what I said.
That's what I said.
Oh.
It's because it's not iTunes. It's Apple Music, Apple Podcasts. Anyway. So yeah, we're pretty upset about losing the GBO for this year, but that's just how it's going to be.
Hey, look at there. That's Podcast Studio.
No. You know what? We're going to your county. I'm sorry.
All right, never mind.
Gotcha. We'll do it next time.
We'll do it next time. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. If you're on YouTube, hang tight. If you're on audio, make sure you're subscribed so that you never miss an episode of the Disc Golf Hot Take and our after show. This one should be interesting. We're going to talk about Brody and his effect on the Waco Annual Charity Open as far as viewers and, the live broadcast and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Hey, see ya.
All right, so we stopped recording, but we are live again. YouTubers, hang tight. I was going to have you check out Sebastian. He was over here looking for some pets, but now he's back on the couch, going to take his nap.
He had his paws up on the chair, so I gave him a couple.
Did you get
pets.
a couple? Yeah. So he was looking for a little bit of attention.
Now he's just chilling over there. So
all right.
I'm out of Dr. Pepper. I'm gonna re-up here.
Yeah, I think I might go grab me one of my sodas.
Chat, what do you guys think? What's going on in your worlds? Let's talk for a minute during the as we prepare for the after show. Tell us what you thought about
Who?
Tell us what you thought about Brody and Waco. I thought it was great.
Who are you asking?
Chat.
Oh, the chat.
Yeah, chat.
Well, we want to talk about that when it.
Well, yeah, but they can start saying it now.
Oh, that's true. You want to do the hot takes first, or you have to after show?
What do you guys think? Hot takes first or after show? It doesn't really matter to us. You call it.
Either way, I'm going to record them, and they'll be put out as separate things.
Jerome, I've thought about it. I've got contacts right now. I'm not wearing them right now, but I've thought about LASIK before. I might do it in the future. We'll see.
All right, YouTube, you're going to get a quick glimpse of Sebastian. There he is.
Little man. Chilling. What's up? Trace says the sergeant is amazing. Yeah, it's fantastic, dude. It's killing it.
We got first runs coming out pretty soon, right?
First runs are already up.
What's getting ready to come out? I was doing something for it.
First run and Moonshine are already out.
What was I doing an ad for? I was doing a...
Well, I guess they may be this Thursday, but the wholesale, I've seen people getting them from retail.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think online they'll be available this Thursday.
All right, we got hot takes first.
Hot takes first? All right.
Yep. Oh, then Danny said after show, so whatever. Sorry, Danny. I saw Anthony's comment first.
Oh, let me go get my soda.
JB, your spelling of Sebastian there is like when Bobby said Ronnie Benet last week.
What did he put?
He put, I mean, he did it as if it was French, yeah. Yeah, Chaser, I'm with you on that. I don't think it was the best, but I understand, like, if somebody's just flamed you online for what feels like no reason to you, and then that's the person in charge of doing your broadcast, I can understand being upset about it. I will say I thought Jamie did a good job of calling a fair round, saying that he did a good job when he did, and not really criticizing, but say, hey, that wasn't that great of a shot.
I should have listened to that podcast so I could have an opinion.
About the upshot?
Jamie's take on it, because I only saw the posting of the quote he did, but I didn't hear what he actually said. So I don't want to I don't want to. Anyway, hey, so I'm going to leave this set up, and if you follow me on Facebook, if you're a follower of mine, Bobby Brown, or facebook.com/Uncle Bobby Jr., I might go live while I'm eating dinner.
Yeah, do your thing. I'm not going to do that.
Why not?
Because I'll be eating upstairs.
Well, you can come down and join me. We'll have a little.
I will not.
It'll be like Seinfeld.
I will not.
Or Kramer. Where you don't want to come down and be live?
No, because we don't have a door over there for me to.
Okay. Okay, what one? After show or disc golf hot takes?
Hot takes.
I took my notes on hot takes. This may be a short one because it'll probably make Robert mad.
Well, I'm sure it's going to make me mad, but what's new?
What's new? Here we go. Hey, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf.
Try it again. It's just to roll that back.
Yep. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Hot Take, where we form an opinion that may or may not be
our actual opinion.
Our actual opinion. We just like to argue. So, remember, this may be within the realm of believable or not believable, but we're going to roll with it. And it's my week. Everybody loves my hot takes. So
no, people exclusively don't love your hot takes.
Here we go.
Post in the chat if you don't love Bobby's hot takes.
All right. So here is my hot take. I believe, here it is just in a bold statement. I believe that honors should not necessarily be honors in that the person that scores the best should not have to shoot first. I think the person that shoots the worst should be the one that shoots first. We always say the win dummy. Oh, you're the win dummy. Why do I have to be the win dummy if I made a better score than you? If I'm doing better than you, why shouldn't I have the advantage of seeing what the wind is doing to your disc? I should be able to go last if I choose so.
I love this hot take. You're back in on making hot takes.
I thought my Mulligan one was good.
No, that one sucked.
Anyway, so yeah, there's my stance.
But a lot of people thought that I really thought you should have mulligans, which is whatever.
That's what made you mad is people.
Yes, because they're like, oh, that's such a stupid. Yeah, I'm aware. I know it's a stupid idea.
So yeah, I've never understood that when it comes to who goes when. Now I'm not. If you follow the show, I'm not super huge into sports. I enjoy watching sports. I love the sportsmanship and the competitiveness. But I don't know who went to what college. I don't know what golfer used to play with this or has played and won this. I don't know all that stuff. So I don't understand. I've never dissected honors and where the actual where it evolved from. But what always confused me is that when I started playing disc golf and got into it, and then it was like who goes first, and it was like, oh, well, you had the better score, and then people go, you're the win dummy. Why do I have to do that? Why?
That's fair. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the way that it's been traditionally because logically I think it makes sense. Okay, so. The thinking behind honors, everyone's aware of the order of play because that's really what it comes down to. If there are 4 people on a card and they score 2, 3, 4, and 5, the person who got a 2 goes first on the next hole. It's their honors, right? They have the honor of hitting first. Okay. Now, practically, that may not be an advantage, right? Like you said, some people say, "Oh, you have to be the win dummy.
Right.
You have to try this first." I like the way that it is because let's say you're on a card with people who are vastly different in skill. Like there's a very, very good player and a very, very bad one. The very, very bad one is always going to go first in that case, almost always at least. And they don't get the benefit of trying to get back into the round, right? So the good player or the higher rated player, they usually can take the disadvantage of having to throw first and be fine with it. And I think also the player with honors, a lot of times maybe there's an advantage to that as well because they don't have to watch what anybody else does. If the wind is swirling, there's no wind read in the world that's going to help you. If there's dead wind, it doesn't really matter. I think going first sometimes is even more of an advantage because you don't have to have your mind clouded by so many extra factors. You just get to throw, commit to your game plan, and move on. Whereas later on the box, you might consider changing something up that you shouldn't have. So I'm not sure that it's such a big disadvantage, but I think the idea is that the player who's playing best, right? You want to keep them at the front of the box. It's their honor to go first, and that actually gives later players a chance to learn from their mistake. But I just don't think it's that big of a disadvantage for the player first.
Yeah, I think because I'm playing well, I should have because I earned the advantage, whether it's 20 seconds or whether it's a minute or whatever before you have to go. I think you should get that. Or let's even throw it in there. Well, that would make that wouldn't seem fair, but I could say the order.
Ooh, I like that. I like that even better as a hot take. If you won the last hole, you get to say who goes first.
But that feels kind of like a schoolyard type play or something that you're adding to it rather than specific rules and stuff. Of course, that would be a rule, but you know what I'm saying,
right?
But yeah, so I mean, I don't know how much you could really argue this. I just really don't think that rule has never made much sense to me.
I think there's a couple of sides to it. The one is that it's as the player who played the best on the last hole, it's your honor to hit first. It's a tradition, right? It's been a golf tradition for a long time. But 2, I think it gives the player who maybe they had a tough hole, for the sake of kind of putting people on a little bit more equal footing as it pertains to the score of the whole round, you do get the benefit of watching other people throw so that you can gain as much information and maybe throw a better shot next time. And say if you do and then you birdie, there's a chance that you move up on the box next time. So I think it tries to put people on a little bit more equal footing. I like it for that reason. But I also think if I'm on the front of the box, I like going first. I would rather just go birdie, throw, birdie, throw, birdie, throw. Great, let's do it. Because if there's a wind, a big time wind situation, I'm going to rely on my read probably more than I am on somebody else's disc, right? I don't know if they're throwing, unless it's someone whose bag I'm really familiar with. But if they throw a big hyzer with something that's not very overstable and it goes way, way left because the wind got under it even more than it would my disc, that wind read isn't going to help me that much unless I know specifically the exact disc that that player is
You know
throwing.
what? I should have that option as the person that did better. What if this? And I think I saw this on the chat too, and it came to my mind. What if an order was determined at the very beginning, and that's the order you went every hole for 18 holes?
Okay, so that makes even less sense to me, because then you have no choice in the matter. Your play doesn't dictate anything. I like that your play determines a spot. It determines a spot for you in the order, and it's fluid. It changes on every hole.
What if it was always ready golf?
Then some people would be like, if it was windy, everyone would be like sorting through their bag.
Right.
Like,
I'm not ready yet.
I'm looking at my phone. So you guys, one of y'all go ahead. Okay, let me watch really closely. So no, I mean, I think the only way that if you were going to change it, the only way that it could be even close to fair is if you started with an order and it just rotated. I don't like that either, because there's no.
What if it was a lottery? Like each hole you had to draw straw. And I mean, obviously something more sophisticated
you draw
than that.
rocks like Survivor.
Yeah.
And if you get if you get the one white rock, then you have to go first.
What if you have an immunity idol?
Well, then you don't have to throw that hole. You get to write down a 2.
So yeah, every hole there was some system in place that it would be random.
Yeah. For me, I like going first, especially if I'm like Adam in the chat said, if I'm playing match play, I definitely want to go first. I'm trying to put the pressure on my competitor.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And same thing for when we're playing tournament rounds. I would like to just go throw a great shot and then sit. Be like, look, now you guys have to follow that.
Right.
I like it better that way.
Yeah, I just you in other sports, the person that causes is the wrong. Well, I guess that's like if in basketball, if you're the person that knocks it out of bounds, well, the other team now has the advantage, and they get to start the play from where you went out of bounds. So it's like the one that's didn't do well should not get the advantage, and I feel like going after the person that did well gives that person the advantage. So
I can dig it. I think there's something to be said for if you if you had to pick the order, like if you won that hole, then you pick the order for the next hole. I think we'd see people just like do whatever their buddies want to do. You know, if we're playing on a card together and I want to give you more of an advantage and I won the last hole, I'd say, all right, Bobby goes third, I go fourth, so that you could watch as many people as you wanted to. Or if my buddy and we were both really playing well and we want to stay on the front of the box, we can just always say, okay, I go first, I go second. So I think there would be a little bit more collusion in that, in a sport that's supposed to be more of an individual sport.
Yeah. All right. Well, not a super controversial hot take.
I like it, though.
But an interesting take nonetheless.
Worth talking about.
Once we post this on our Facebook, the Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook group, give us your opinion. What are your thoughts on do you agree with me that the person that shot the best should be able to go last so they can take advantage of watching everybody else throw? Do you think the way it's set up is perfectly fine because that person who did best wants to get up there and throw? Or do you think there should be some other way to determine who throws when as far as the order once you reach the tee pad? Guys, thanks so much for tuning into our Disc Golf Hot Take. Make sure you are subscribed to the Disc Golf audio podcast so that you catch all of our episodes. And please go to iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen. And if you can, hit that rate and review button. Give us 5 stars. We love hearing from you guys and getting feedback on our show.
5 stars.
All right, YouTube, thanks for hanging in there. Thank you, guys. We got still 216 people hanging on. They got nothing else to do. They're working from home. Hey, give us on the YouTube chat, give us a thumbs up or something. If your job has sent you home or considering sending you home, be curious to see how many people out there are home from work. If you're just tuning in and you're thinking, boy, that background looks kind of different than normal, it's because we are in the McCall's residence basement where I reside. We at Dynamic Discs have elected to allow those that are able to work from home to do so to help mitigate the spread of the coronavirus. And so we thought, well, we still want to do Disc Golf Answer Man because we still love our followers, of course. And so I decided to bring home the setup here. If you like the IRL life, maybe tune in tonight on my Facebook page, and you might IRL while I'm eating.
I will not be IRLing while you're eating.
What a fuddy dud.
I will be IRLing in IRL upstairs.
He's probably going to be gaming in role play RPG IRL. I guess it's not the same thing.
No, probably not.
Yeah, it's different. All right, so now we've got the after show coming up, so hang tight just for a second. Someone asked in the chat, what am I drinking? I'm drinking, it's called Clear American, which is basically the generic version of flavored sparkling water. It's cherry limeade. It is not an alcohol beverage. I would not do that on air, except when I'm on air with Jenny.
Jenny Margaritas.
Yeah, Jenny Margaritas or Radius delicious beers. But no, this is just a cherry limeade flavor. It's got 0 calories, 0 sugars, 0 sodium. I'm sure it's got other little chemicals to give it flavor. But when I want something sweet to drink and I know I don't want pop, I'll drink some of these. All right, so do you even IRL in IRL, bro?
I like what Danny said. Yeah, this is absolutely true.
Yeah, that's why I said it, Danny.
RPG is literally the
opposite of IRL. That's why I said it. It's called sarcasm.
Oh, please don't do that again. It's like that's like the guy who sent in the question who started it like this. Like he was opening a wrapper or something. Ugh.
Would you rather I do this?
I would rather just IRL leave.
All right, let's get ready for the after show. These have been like short segments, huh?
Yeah, quick.
Oh, you know what I haven't done in a while for the after show?
Oh, mix down.
Yeah.
You got time now.
We'll see. Welcome to the after show.
We out here.
All right, so this is the after show. We've brought it back to life. This one, there's no skip ace to talk about, no fantasy disc golf. If you aren't aware,
we've got Waco results, but not future.
It's Waco results we're going to talk about, but we don't have any future events because a statement from PDGA about COVID-19. They have decided to suspend all sanctioned events from this date, which is March 17th. We're recording until the end of March, or I forgot.
So far, it's the end of March.
End of March, and so that from then they'll reevaluate and see what's going on there. So anyway, by the time you listen to this, maybe things have been reinstated and we're somewhat back to normal. I have a feeling that's not the case,
Probably
but
not.
We'll see.
In the chat here, it said, "We out here" slogan should be changed to "In the house," as suggested by the CDC.
In the house, nice.
It doesn't quite have the same ring, but I'm about it.
So we're going to go to skipace.com. Excuse me. If you have not done already, you can join our league because I'm sure Johnny V will be ready to bring back picks, fantasy disc golf once we get back into the swing of events. So the last event we did was the Waco Annual Charity Open. What?
Captain Moistbeard always makes me laugh. Never ceases to. He said, "PDJ be softer than Robert's beer."
Jeez.
I can't help it. I'm sorry. That one gets me. He's funny.
So how this works is Anthony goes in and makes picks for us. And if you do better than Anthony, then your name is put into the hat for some goodies. I started doing some picks, and if you beat me and Anthony, then double your pleasure. Then we will send out 2 people will get prizes.
That's not correct.
What did I say?
If you beat Anthony, we send out 2 prizes.
What did I say?
You said if you beat you and
Oh,
Anthony.
that's right.
That's incorrect.
I'm sorry. You're right. I have to beat Anthony.
Yeah.
Then we
2
get double
prizes.
the
But
pleasure.
if you beat Anthony, all the people that beat Anthony are in a drawing.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I got...
Spoiler alert. You did not beat Anthony.
I got ranked 224th. Now, I tried something interesting where I did not look at past performances other than, of course, Paul Macbeth. And I just made some picks based on... Oh, my God. Made some picks based off just randomness.
Okay, and you even went and switched it.
I had to because Ronnie Bennett was my first, and he actually and gosh,
Ronnie Benet.
I don't want to. Yeah, Benet. I don't want to say anything, but he did text me about some stuff going on that he had to get out of the event.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway,
so you switched it up, and maybe that would have helped.
That would have helped me because Troy. What did Troy shoot?
I don't know. Let me look.
I got negative 200 from Troy. Now, the reason I picked Troy is because his name was right under Ronnie's, and that's what I basically picked. I picked whoever was next available. So how I picked was Paul Macbeth. I picked because he's Paul Macbeth, and I figured he'd do well. Kevin Jones, because I remembered at Pro Worlds one year. I met him, and he was a cool guy. Chris Clemens, because I'm jealous of his hair. And then Troy was just the next. Well, Ronnie was the next available person, and then Troy was the next available once Ronnie got out. Paige Shue got me -5, and Katrina Allen got me 200. So, yeah, Troy.
He tied for 103rd place.
That's probably why I got -200.
He shot +13 on the weekend.
Yes.
Now, Bobby.
What did the winner shoot?
The winners were, I think Colton shot 20 under.
20 under. So a difference of 33 strokes.
Okay. Now, let's talk about this for a second.
He threw the disc 33 times more.
Yeah. Most people would have thrown it even more times than that. Okay. Let's talk about this for a second. So, Troy, I commend you for going out and playing that event because that's a tough course.
Oh, for sure. I'm not. Yeah. Please don't.
It's hard to play.
Get it twisted, Troy. I'm not bagging on you at all.
Okay. Now, let me turn my attention to Bobby.
But why you do that?
This is why I laughed at your picks. The strategy of going top pick, whatever you have left, burns you if that person doesn't perform, right?
Okay.
And statistically, Troy's rated 955. Statistically, he won't be in the top of a field like this. I think he probably has the capability to do that, but more than likely he's going to be in the bottom half, which already means negative points. It just so happens that he didn't play very well to his standards either, but it would have been negative points.
What was his round ratings?
Hold on. Let me scroll back up there.
So you said he was rated 955?
He's rated 955. He shot 925, 949. So didn't play great to his standards. But honestly, I'd have to look at where his rating would have finished him. But let's just use close numbers. A tie for 92nd place shot 961 and 957. So even if you shot his rating, you'd have gotten -180. That's why you have to mitigate those points. Just like you have to spread them out just a little bit better to defend against the very high pick or the very low pick.
Well, Robert, you know what
these are the reasons that I laughed at you last time.
Do you know what the worst kind of mistake there is?
What?
The kind you don't learn from.
Yeah, okay.
So we've learned. So my strategy might shift a little bit.
I sure hope it does.
However, I will not go with the conventional strategy.
That was an atrocious showing.
Yes. So Anthony got, what did he end up with? 70.
He was in the 70s, 72nd.
Yeah, 72nd. So Anthony, he did tell me in a Google Doc where I asked him to put it out there. Let's see.
Oh yeah, in case you didn't listen to the after show last week where we picked picks for Waco, Bobby was looking through his picks. Chose a player named Ronnie Bennett. His last name is spelled Bennett. And he said, and my last pick is Ronnie Benet. And I said, Bobby, there's no way that name is not pronounced Bennett. So that's why we had a good laugh at Benet. Did he beat Brody? He did not. Brody finished in...
Anthony, check your work chat.
80th place. He shot 2 over on the weekend, 976, 979. His current rating is 923 based on one league round, I believe, so that will go up quite a bit after this weekend.
All right, so we have, I believe Anthony got 72nd, so we're going to confirm that either on the YouTube chat or whatever. If you're wondering what this show is all about, you're like, what is the after show? Why is it so relaxed? Why are they so mellow? Well, that's just what it's all about. All right, so Anthony confirmed 72 yes, so I'm going to go to my random number generator. Random number generator and choose 1 through 72. No?
Yes.
And generate. All right, we're going to go look to see where that is.
The number was number 10.
All right, so we're going to go with Kyle T. Saylor. Kyle T. Saylor got 10th place, 858 points. He chose Macbeth, Tristan Tanner, Emerson Keith, Gavin Rathbun.
Yep.
Katrina Allen, and Rebecca Cox, which got him some good points.
Rebecca played well.
Oh, that's right. All right, so let's see. So Kyle T. Saylor, hopefully you're listening, or if someone knows you and they listened, make sure you're logged into Skip Ace. Take a screenshot, email it to Bobby, Bobby, at dynamicdiscs.com. That way you can prove that you are who you are. And then I will send out a goodie to you as far as discs. I'll send you out a disc. Cool. No second winner because I did not beat Anthony. So, guys, you need to help me figure out.
But you almost did.
Yeah, it's close. Off by
150 people.
50 people. So if you want to have double your chances to win, you need to figure out how to help me make better picks.
Please.
All right, so that's it for the Skip Ace. There won't be more for the next couple of weeks because, as we said before, PDGA has put a halt to over the next 2 weeks to PDGA sanctioned events. Someone said they're seeing a lot of unsanctioned events be put together. I got some different opinions on that, but so if you're have a hankering for some disc golf, you might check like your local Facebook group to see if there's things going on, even though things are get canceled. So I saved the question from a regular disc golf answer man,
but take precautions.
But yes, please take every precaution.
Like not going. What?
Yeah. So I wanted to discuss this question that came up on the Disc Golf Answer Man show. Because I thought it would be a good thing to discuss. So this is the question. So this is not the Disc Golf Answer Man show. Please make sure you subscribe so you get that. This is the after show where we just talk about different stuff. But someone said, and this is from Tony. Tony. While watching Parsay Productions round 1 back 9 Waco footage, I saw Drew Gibson was shown as repping the Gibson brand. What's up with that? Maybe this is common knowledge, but I'm not hip to it. Couldn't find much on Google search outside of Gibson Industry website. So that's not part of the question I want to talk about, but I want to make sure we get Tony's question in there. That's basically what it is. Gibson Industries, that's his brand of, I think, apparel, and I'm not sure all the things, but that's what he's using to have merch or merchandise so that he can support himself while he's out on tour. So yeah, definitely check that out. I don't know the exact website, but if you looked up Gibson Industry Disc Golf on Google, I'm sure you'd find it. So check that out. This is the part I really wanted to discuss. And this, he says, also curious as to the metrics on the Brody vids of that tournament in contrast with recent big name tournament footage. Did we determine if Johnny V is still on the show?
I haven't seen him in a second, but
so Johnny, if you're watching, and what information can you give us as far as views? Now, from my understanding, what it looked like. So, if you're new and you're not sure what's going on, Brody Smith is an ultimate player that's been doing it for countless years, for a long time. Been in the ultimate game for a while. I'm assuming he was a decent player. I don't know if he was like one of the top players.
Yeah, he played professional. He played professionally and at the University of Florida.
Okay, so yeah, very
quite good.
Quite good. He currently is about 2.2 million subscribers on his YouTube channel. So he recently just got into disc golf. Has stated that he wants to become the best at disc golf, if not one of the best. But he wants to become really good at disc golf, and he's even mentioned that he believes that his influence that he brings over from his social media, his YouTube channel, will bring in a new audience to disc golf. So anyway, he has competed in where else did he compete before Waco?
Just a league round.
A league round, and then he jumped all
Virginia or California or something.
Both feet in with Waco, and was featured on, or was on the featured card, which is round 1. And that's something to explain, is that it's a featured card. It's not a lead card. So he's featured on there. And if we want to debate that whole instance, there's a huge debate on whether he should be on the featured card.
Those people can get out of here.
A lot of people were really upset that he was on the quote unquote featured card. Well, that's the whole point. It's part of the point of a featured card, is that you put people on there that will get the views. Well, someone who's got 2.2 million followers on YouTube, that's way ahead of any other disc golfer as far as a social media presence. And so, yes, he for the event, for the exposure, he belonged on the featured card, if that was your motive, which that's the motive of a featured card. So anyway, so his question is about the view count, and do we think it as to the metrics. So I don't know the exact metrics, but it feels like the view count was up.
Yeah.
Yes?
All right, so on the Disc Golf Network, which is where the first round was, they don't have viewer numbers on that. I'm sure we could get some from Johnny V, but we don't really have anything to compare it to because this is the first tournament behind the paywall regardless. What we do have is the feature card coverage of that first round. Brody got with the Disc Golf Pro Tour and has it has that released on his personal channel. That came out yesterday, March 16th, 2020. And the combined views between the front 9 and the back 9 are 185,000 views. One day.
Yeah.
But in comparison, the final round lead card from Jomez Pro, not even arguably, but the preeminent disc golf media company, right? The people, the video that gets the most views out there, for their front 9 of that of the second round, final round front 9 lead card, 129,000 views, 3 days. So, if you're asking if this is making an impact, the answer is unequivocally yes. To what degree, I don't know just yet. You know, for the people who are saying, that there were only 1,500 Disc Golf Network members before March, and they went up with Brody being on the featured card. That may be true, but you didn't have to pay for the memorial. So there's a chance that there were some people who were just waiting until March to pay in the first place. So I think that statistic is a little bit skewed. I'm not trying to take anything away from Brody, as it's been noted. I think his presence in disc golf is huge and extremely valuable, but I'm just not sure that's the statistic that we can use to say, yes, this is doing substantially better now, because that was the first event behind the paywall regardless. But I mean, we're messaging Johnny V right now, and if you're not aware, Johnny V directs the Disc Golf Network live broadcasts. So he's on the switchboard. He's the show's producer. The Disc Golf Network gained thousands of subscribers between Memorial and Waco, and almost 2,000 after Brody was announced 24 hours prior to the event. So that is a metric that we can use. It's different than before. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a huge deal. And okay, so Kip's camera in the chat says, Brody is the best thing that has happened to disc golf possibly ever. Get over it, people. The golf pros doubled their paychecks because of Tiger. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, this is a huge deal. And if you say that he didn't deserve to be on the card or he doesn't deserve to be sponsored, you don't really understand what it means to grow disc golf in a certain way.
I mean, I have to say, to that point, Tiger Woods is a little different than comparing to Brody. I mean, I get Tiger Woods' celebrity status helps gets people to watch, but Tiger's been playing golf since he was a kid. So.
Right, but this is much different, right? Tiger became a star because of golf. Brody became a YouTube star, depending on how you define that, but a YouTube personality before coming over to disc golf. Someone with already an established following that's greater than the followings of all disc golf channels put together at this point.
Right. No, I get that. No, I get that.
They're different situations. So
I just don't think it's an apple to apple.
No, I don't think so either. But I do think, if you think this is a bad thing for disc golf, or if you think that someone else should have been on that feature card instead, I just disagree with you, plain and simple.
No, absolutely. I'm with you on that for sure. I talked about it on an earlier podcast that I wasn't too sold on Brody's impact. In fact, I thought it was just going to be kind of a quick blip and then that's it. And right now, one could argue for me
that
is
maybe
that
we're still in that.
We're in the blip.
Sure. But it seems like he's committed to it. Is the thing.
Sure, but just to create a hypothesis, let's say it's 5 tournaments in, and Brody's on the card, and he has placed. What did he place at Waco?
He was 80th, tied for 80th.
Yeah, after the 8th event, big major or Disc Golf Pro Tour, is he still placing in the 80s? Is he going to have the same impact, or is that blip going to be gone now because people are like, okay, yeah, cool, Brody, but you're not doing very well, Brody?
I'm not sure that matters that much, though, because did you see the gallery at Waco for his first round?
Yeah. No, I did. I mean, yes and no.
I watched the live coverage, a decent bit of it, and let's talk about the people that are on that card. Paul Macbeth, best player in the world, 1061 rated. Drew Gibson, one of the most exciting players to watch, super distance, really good player. And Cale LaVisca, who's a bro. Like, I don't know of a lot of people, in fact, I don't know of hardly anyone that doesn't like Cale. He's got fans everywhere. Those three guys were throwing good shots, putting the disc out there in good position, and every time Brody did something, it seemed like it got more of a response from the gallery than the other three did.
Yeah, I heard that people were clapping louder, it seemed, when he had something good.
Yeah, so to say, even if he is finishing lower, if he's drawing those sort of crowds, yes, that's beneficial.
Well, I guess that's my point, is that will he draw the same crowd, or will the shine kind of wear off?
I think the thing is, he's not close to his ceiling in disc golf right now.
Yeah.
You know,
as far as
a player goes. Yeah, no, as far as being a player, like, he's just learning. He's been playing for just a couple of months.
Yeah.
As he gets into it more and develops some more tools and the mindset to go with it that's specific to disc golf, I mean, he'll be a 1,000 rated player, I think. He went to the Beast, which is a pretty difficult course in tough conditions, and shot 976, 978, or 976, 980, or whatever it was. I don't remember. That he'll get to be 1,000. He's just physically gifted enough to do that. I don't know if he's going to be up there winning a lot of these events in the foreseeable future, but I do think he's going to rise up the ranks pretty quickly.
Now, Johnny V put it in the chat. He says, we don't know how much of the gain is due to Brody, but overall it didn't hurt. So that is an interesting point, because there are two things happening right now, and that's the first year of the new, for the lack of a better term that I can't think of, a regime of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. This is these are the first few events that are under new management per se. So we don't know if that's that, you know what I'm saying? What can retribute to the gain, Brody Smith effect, or that it's under new management, so people are excited about watching Disc Golf Pro Tour with new people behind the helm. And also disc golf growing. It seems that a lot of stores have been growing. Disc golf has been growing. So is that just a natural trend that's happening? Like Johnny V said, it certainly did not hurt. Right. I don't think it caused people not to watch disc golf because Brody's on there.
Yeah,
and evidence of the views on his channel means that a lot of his audience, and even I think the likes to dislikes, the likes was still very high. So people that are his fans are liking what they see.
Yeah, on the back nine, 1,800 likes, 1,867 likes to 24 dislikes on the back nine. Then on the front nine, hold please. A little bit slow on the internet here. On the front nine, 2,900 likes to 47 dislikes. I mean, that's a really good ratio.
So what I would...
Can I do one super chat real quick? Kip's Camera said, give us $5. Thank you, Kip's Camera. We appreciate that. Said, I paid to see Brody. Yeah, I think there's a ton of people out there that did and that are excited about what he's going to be doing.
What is the username on Disc Golf Pro Tour? I mean, not on YouTube.
It's just Brody Smith.
What I'm looking at, there's a
space.
There's a website called Social Blade where you can actually watch. You can see some stats.
Bobby's dog's name is Sebastian.
There is some stats we can see on Brody's channel. I was curious to see if it would show the growth the time he joined disc golf. You've never seen that before?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he likes to dig at his bed.
Okay.
Let's see, detailed statistics. I'm trying to find out. Oh, so his growth. Oh, wow! Look on what happened on that day.
February 19th.
So what I'm looking at is I can see his video view counts per day, and it looks like there's a few days it jumps. It looks like it does pretty well as far as view counts. So yeah, so you're probably, I'm sorry, audio listeners, you're not getting anything out of this. So I was looking at to see how his channel performed over time, to see how much it. Because a lot of people were saying that, yeah, he's a YouTube star, but he hasn't really put out a whole lot as compared to some people like Dude Perfect or something like that, where they become more the entertainer YouTubers. So it kind of, I've heard some ramblings that he was kind of like becoming less relevant, and he was using disc golf as a way to get into a new niche.
Sure. I've heard that.
Here's a thought. Yeah, that could have been it.
Cool.
people reinvent themselves all the time.
Yeah. Are you telling me that if one of the I know that these guys are on different scales, but they've worked together before. If you're telling me that one of the dude perfect guys like Tyler comes out to start playing disc golf, that people aren't going to watch disc golf more often, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
so
if that's what they chose to do, yes, we will absolutely, as disc golfers, we will, at least in my opinion, accept the bump that comes from that and be like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
We've got someone who more people know about than generally would know about disc golf. More people know about him than people who know about disc golf right now. He's going to bring some of them, probably not all of them, but some of them, just to be aware of disc golf. One of the things that he had I think that he said in an interview with Jeff Spring, I think it was with Jeff, was just that disc golf is such an awesome sport, but a lot of people just don't know about it right now. You know, for as big as our world feels, in the grand scheme of things, we're pretty small. So just to get some exposure for the sport, and the fact that he's providing that to his audience, yeah, that's beneficial to us, no matter which way you slice it.
Johnny has another interesting take on it. He says, honestly, his view counts are not that impressive for the number of subs he has. I don't know if you're talking specifically disc golf or specifically him, and if you were commenting on me saying that he wasn't as relevant or wasn't as popular as he once was. But yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time. Wouldn't it be cool if some certain celebrity started playing disc golf? That would do so much for disc golf. And here comes a celebrity, be it a D-lister or whatever you want to put, whatever level
like
you want to put them on.
Yeah,
YouTuber, influencer, whatever level you want to put it on. This is it. This is one of those things where, sure, it'd be great to have. Who was it that was big? Like, was it Chris Evans? Captain America that was playing disc golf?
I mean, a little bit, but
yeah, I mean,
but not championing it. He was just playing. That's
but
like the mountain from
right. But imagine if his feed had a lot more disc golf in it.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. Exponentially. I mean, or numbers wise, we would love for him to post more about disc golf.
Right.
But it's still nice to have somebody who has 2.2 million followers to do stuff like that.
Well, and somebody who, I mean, Brody has done like brand deals with brands before. You know, like big brands. I don't know which ones I can or can't talk about, but I assume you've seen lots of them. But I saw a video he did the other day that was sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings, where he and Kelsey, his wife, went and played mini golf and talked about Buffalo Wild Wings. And that's a brand deal from a national chain, like a big deal. And I know he's worked with companies even bigger than that. So, yeah, I would say this is a super big deal. I think it's really important.
All right. I mean, I don't know there's much to talk about.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. What?
And to go along with that, Matthew and I saw a couple of people before say, did you see Good Mythical Morning played disc golf with tortillas? Yeah, Rhett and Link, that's another huge thing for us. I mean, it's the sort of break that we look for in gaining some notoriety. You know?
Yeah, it was cool. They I don't know if it was planned or unplanned, but they had ran into I haven't watched the entire video, but they ran into some actual disc golfers and had the guy throw. I thought I saw a couple of Trilogy discs in his bag. It kind of I couldn't tell because they didn't show up close, but it kind of looked like I saw some Trilogy discs in there, which was kind of cool. But yeah, you know, the more awareness people have, it's those little bits and pieces that make the bigger picture, where you're going to see it in a Jack Link's commercial, you're going to see it in a beer commercial, you're going to see it in the background in a movie, you're going to have now Brody Smith do it, you're going to see Rhett and Link influencers do stuff like that. It's those little bits and pieces that get people to be like, well, what is this sport? I want to check it out. Now, whether they are someone that walks into a Dick's Sporting Goods and buys a 3-pack starter pack and never really picks up the game, that might be it. Just like, you know, like ping pong. Ping pong, I'm sure, is a huge sport for top-level ping pong players. But you're going to have people that just have one in the garage and they just play every now and then. Yeah, so Robert's watching it right now. So yeah, they're slinging a tortilla, and of course, if they lose, they have to
take a bite
of the tortilla after it's been thrown on the ground.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, so I think this is, I don't know if we go back to the original question, which basically was some of the metrics, and thanks to Johnny V for sharing some of those numbers with us. It's definitely having a positive influence.
Patrick says Dynamic Disc should issue a tortilla round challenge to Rhett and Link. I mean, if they want to get rolled, Patrick, we have experience called Will It Heiser.
Yeah.
We've thrown tortillas at least 3 times.
Maybe that's another idea we can do with the team here.
Willet Heiser.
Some Willet Heisers.
We got time.
We got time. That's one thing we got. Okay. All right. So, well, I think we've exhausted that particular topic. Thank you so much for tuning into the After show. Wait. Do you know? Okay. I get it. There's a lot of bad things happening in the world right now. This coronavirus is no joke. This isn't something to take a bit lightly. However, I was disappointed at these events getting canceled for a lot of reasons. Economically, this is going to hit a lot of people. But one of the things after it all settled that I realized is that I am not going to get a Roscoe from Torchy's Taco.
I know, dude.
I get it. Yes. And in my mind, it's completely trivial as compared to everything else. I totally get that. But I was really looking forward to a Roscoe's from Torchy's Taco.
Yeah, that's in case you're unaware of the chicken and waffles taco. It's fantastic.
To the point where I was literally in my mind wondering if you would even go for it, Robert, if we made some homemade Roscoe's. Oh, we'd need Eggo waffle.
Yep.
Easy enough.
Start.
Fried chicken, easy enough.
We have at KFC if we wanted to pay retail. Oh yeah, we still have to do the donut thing. I'm a little scared if we're getting real. Anyway, but yeah, we can.
I might do the donut thing and go live tonight.
We made bacon already. Like I know I can do that.
Right, we know we can do bacon.
I also made eggs yesterday. I know I can do that.
I can't remember. Is it a over? No, it's a.
It's an over easy egg.
Is it an over easy egg? Okay, yes.
So tortilla, waffle, chicken, bacon, over easy egg, syrup.
I mean, we could do it. Would you be up to it?
It's possible.
I think that's
call me a solid maybe. I mean, also there's progress being made. Probably not right now, but eventually, there's progress being made and locations chosen for the Torchies that are going to be in Kansas.
Correct, but by the time they're up, it will not be March.
I disagree.
You think they'll have it done in the next 2 weeks?
Yes, they're going to speed up their process amidst coronavirus.
So that the Disc Golf Answer Man can get their Roscoe for the year.
Yeah, it's good.
I really am thinking about this weekend and just doing it. Just making it and see if we can do one. I like the idea of the KFC because that's kind of a nice little hack, little biohack, life hack.
Yeah, I'm in.
All right. That's all the time we got, guys. Thank you so much for the after show. Appreciate you all the way around. We are going to try to do something like this next week. Maybe even try to figure out how to have multiple cams or multiple feeds so we can get Eric in here.
Cameras.
And maybe some of the other guys, Anthony and Danny, as they're
Chaser, I just
working.
described the Roscoe. That's the taco of the month at Torchy's Tacos right now.
Yes. So
it's good.
Good. All right. We're going to get back to our other work stuff. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the next after show.
Okay, bye.